Check. Check. One, two, three.
Turn that off, please. Hold on to that.
Hello. Good.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, crush this shit, okay? Oh, sorry, they can hear everything I'm saying. Crush that. All right, good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Good. My name is Elias Estudo. I have the fortune and pleasure to be the moderator of this amazing, amazing event today. A couple things that are not going to happen that I want to share with you. I think it's really, really important. Here's what not to expect from this event. We will not be auctioning off any pictures of Kenny Trung today. Just so you guys know that, please make a note of that. Anthony will not be leaving to get donut holes for the entire stage. There's more to this, okay? Just follow me for a moment. Nobody will be using the stage to stretch quad muscles, okay? I just want to let you know that it's not going to happen. Last thing that will not happen today is all AV equipment will work properly. Now, why do I say this? Because last night in my dream, this all happened. Anthony left the stage, somebody was up here on their stomach, stretching their quads, and then Kenny's like, auction this. I said, Kenny, nobody wants a big giant picture. We will not be doing any of those things that I just mentioned. However, look at this. Look at it. Look at that.
Screwdriver, thank you.
Let's give a round of applause for Eric up here, huh? Here's what you can expect. What you can expect is that you guys are going to hear some dynamic insight from these four individuals on the stage. Because by show of hands, how many people currently lead a team? Let me just get a quick survey. Anybody lead a team in the room? How many people aspire to potentially lead a team in the future? How many people just want to hear from great-minded people about their journey in real estate? Okay, cool. So that's what you guys can expect from today. So without further ado, let's do some quick introductions and do some production numbers now. We're going to start from over here. Melody, how long have you been in the business and what is the name of your team?
So I am Nova Real Estate, and I've been in the business for 23 years.
23 years.
I got started young.
Yeah, that's right. And just for the people, just so they know, last year's production numbers were what?
We did, as a team, we did 68 million.
68 million.
Yep.
Love this. And then how did you guys come up with the name Nova?
Oh, man. So that was me. I had a couple of different ideas. I wanted to do four letters. I came up with HALO, which is an acronym. It's a military acronym. High altitude, low, I don't remember the other one, but descent or something. And then that was taken because when you start a team, you have to talk to the DRE about your name. Nova wasn't taken, Nova Real Estate. So I just started gravitating towards that, and I went there.
Love it. Love it.
And I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. So let's go to the team in the middle. So this is Anthony. And this is Lauren, so tell us a little bit about, yes. How long have you guys been a team?
We've been fully licensed in 2017 and we've been practicing together ever since.
So you guys started out as like a team when you first started in real estate, or did you lead this business? When did you get business together? Tell us a little bit about it.
So Anthony sold me protein and then we fell in love. This was back in 2015. We took our license test the same day. I remember we were going to Mexico the next day and we were like, what if one of us doesn't pass? Which obviously didn't happen. And it would have been me that passed. But no, we ended up starting our team of two. And then in 2019, we can talk about it today. We've had three, I don't want to say failures, but yeah, you got to fail fast. Failures since that point to where we are now, where folks didn't work out. So we've tried to start in 2019.
I'll have to clarify the protein part. So
all the other stuff
Yeah.
she was accurate about, but let me go back to the protein.
Pre-real estate, I was doing sports nutrition sales for many years. So hence the protein. Just putting that out there. Yeah. Just put it out there.
Thanks for clearing that up. All right, so Team Fit. So how did you guys come up with that name? Now, does it mean exercise? Does it mean staying fit? Like, tell us a little bit about the backstory of Team Fit and how that evolved.
Well, we came from Climb Real Estate. Shout out to Climb Forever. Yeah, sorry. So when we first started out, we figured we had to brand ourselves in somehow, because that's really what And, I would say it's a bonus, but it's not obviously not a requirement. So then we're like, how do we evolve the name into something that doesn't pigeonhole the folks that we maybe want to recruit? And so Team Fit is now FIT as an acronym for focus, inspired, and transparent, because those are things that are very important to us.
And I just found that out last year. I had no idea about that. So awesome. Give them a round of applause. Welcome. And then Miss Lauren McLane, go ahead and introduce yourself. How long have you been in business and how long have you been a team?
In real estate. So a decade. I spent, yep, team for the last 4.5. So I had a brief stint as a solo agent.
Awesome, awesome. And how large is your team now?
Mean small team of 5.
Hey, Brian, can you get a different mic? Brian, that mic's going out. Laura's mic is going in and out. Laura's. Yeah, so what happened in my dream is happening right now.
It's happening.
Yeah. Anthony, can you go to the donut holes?
Let's go get
Eric,
a
can you
donut
come
hole.
up here and stretch out your quads, please? Right. All right, guys, so I have a couple questions because I want to make sure. Okay, let's start out with this. Now we know who they are. I'll go around the room. I want to ask this question because I think everyone's answer is going to be a little bit different. So let's just start out with a quick icebreaker. Let's do what do you believe your superpower is? And I'm going to start with you, Lauren, Quach, and then we'll just kind of come around. So Lauren first here. What is you believe your superpower is in this business?
So we were talking about this in the car, and I said, Anthony, what would you think my superpower would be? So I think that mine is to be like a chameleon. I'm not super into astrology, but my best friend is, and I guess there's a human design chart of some sort, and I classify as a reflector, which apparently is like less than 1% of the population. And it just, what that means is that I take in a lot of energy from other folks, and I just am able to reflect what they're giving me. So I feel like I can adapt in most situations. And we kind of say that, you know, you don't hear this a lot, but as realtors, you know, everything can be a write-off because you can kind of make anything a business trip. And I feel like whenever we go out to eat, we can pick up a client. So that's just, I think that's how it all comes together. He actually did say the chameleon.
Yeah, that's what I brought up to her. And so we were talking about it. I was like, oh, you're really good at just adapting to different situations and figuring it out on the go. So it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, let's keep on it. Let's just stay here. So, what is yours? I think I know what it is, but I'm curious.
All right.
You know yourself.
So again, we were talking about it in the car, and I was saying just connecting with people, right? Because in this business, real estate, yes, you're selling a home, but you're selling a life, right? People are going to move in to their new home, create a family, build a family, friends, bring in new experiences, memories, and so you really building life for your clients. And so if you're able to connect with them on like a personal level, then that just goes way deeper than, way further than a transaction. Your client's just not, a stat, a number on your spreadsheet. So I feel like Lauren just said it. Like whenever we go out to eat, whether at restaurant, bar, wherever, we feel we do a good job at connecting with people, and that's what I feel passionate about.
Yeah, I would definitely 100% agree. 100% agree. Lauren, how about for you? Superpower. Good identify.
Is this thing on? Okay, perfect. I am Ron Burgundy. So superpower, taking down bottomless chips and guac, maybe?
Yes.
Uh,
Powerful.
This is always an awkward question, though. I think to talk about yourself, you kind of want to think about how to not sound like a jerk. But also, I think it's really important to share your experience and not dim your light so it gives other people permission to shine. So I would say superpower business related that has served me is not really a superpower, but just being relentless in the pursuit of whatever your goal is. So I think it's a good mix of just headstrong and OCD. But once I get fixated on something, I will not give up until I get it.
I love it. I love it. Should we ask you, he's smiling. This is her boyfriend right here, too. You see what? That's my girl. Good stuff. So, Melanie, let's hear from you. Do you believe your superpower is in business?
So I also had to ask. I was like, oh, what is my superpower? So I asked around. I asked some of my other agent friends, some of my mom group, and they said the ability to remain calm.
Yes.
That people like to tell me things because I keep it in confidence. I had the response was world peace with agents. So like I have a good rapport. I want everybody to feel comfortable. And then I got some like ninja negotiation skill talent.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, right. remember when, and I don't think anybody, maybe someone did this, but remember like, does anybody remember the pea document?
The peed, the peed, peed, peed.
Okay, right. Well, during that time, there was agents that felt like they had all this power, and they were like forgetting my name. They were just like ridiculous. They
Were they
rude about
poopy,
it.
Elias? Were they poopy agents?
What?
Were they poopy agents?
That.
Ruby agent.
They try to hold all this power. So just being kind, I mean, that is definitely a superpower. So really, really good stuff. So I wanted to ask, and I'll start with Anthony. As you guys were growing and you guys were producing at a high level, when did you decide, you know what, let's duplicate this and let's create it? Like when and where did that happen? How did that conversation start? Like what was that catalyst moment to say, you know what, let's do this bigger than just us?
Kind of came organically. In 2019, we brought on our first agent under us. It didn't work out. It didn't work out, and we realized very quickly that it could fail fast. So it wasn't a conversation Lauren and I had like, oh, you know, by this year we're gonna bring on this many agents or new assistants. It just kind of, like I said, it happened organically. Lauren and I, we got to the point where we felt like we could bring somebody on, and we tried. It didn't work out. Like, okay, let's just continue what we're doing, and if the right person comes along, then you know we'll build them up. And so, yeah, honestly, it just happened. It just happened.
So
Yeah.
no plan. There was like,
No
any like thought behind our plan. It's just, this is where we're at.
Yeah, I think that's an opportunity in general in our business that we're very transparent about is we kind of fly by the seat of our pants a lot of times. And then you just make it work,
Yeah.
whatever comes your way. So we added 2019.
We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
We added 2 in 2019 and then had an assistant that actually was a live-in assistant because we had an extra bedroom in our house. That's not a good idea. But you know,
Keep notes, you guys. Some powerful
we
stuff.
worked through it and now, you know, we obviously learned things along the way.
Yeah. So
Oh, I was gonna ask you, so you have like a volume of production goal when you first started? Because you guys started as a team.
we did not.
Okay.
We were just like,
Remember,
if we're
fly by
gonna
the seat of the pants.
if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it to the best of our abilities and just crack down and just hustle. So Lauren and I, we both left our jobs like on a Thursday and did our first open house on a Saturday. So we just like went full steam ahead. Just going back to the team though, 2019, we brought in 3 people, and the first 3 people we brought on didn't work out. So just fail fast, learn from your mistakes, and keep
It's
it
a
moving.
big part because we just weren't organized enough. We didn't know what we were doing. I mean, sometimes I still don't feel like I don't know what I'm doing, but you just like, I can figure it out.
We're at almost 300. We understand. We're still there. So how about you, Lauren? Like when and where did you decide that, you know what, I want to do this. I want to put other people on. I want to grow a team.
So I left the team I was on because I just kind of got into a rut and I was feeling really uninspired and then just kind of like, I know I'm meant for more, but everyone kind of goes to that place of, I don't know if I can do this on my own. So I finally got to the point where I was like, can't take anymore. I'm gonna go off on my own. Then I got a coach because everyone told me to get a coach. I'm a good direction follower. I may not be the smartest person, but I will follow directions. Got the coach, did everything the coach said, worked like 13 hours a day, then built a ton of business really quickly. And I was like, oh shit, I need a team. So my coach said, hire an assistant. Hired an assistant. With the help of the assistant, I was able to leverage myself, create even more business. And then I had to bring on other agents to help handle that. Through that process, I found out that I really like mentoring agents. I really like being able to give back in that capacity. For some reason, unfortunately, I'm not financially motivated. It's like being able to make a difference and stuff. So that's what made me grow my team even further.
Love it, love it. And Melody, how about for you? So like, what was that deciding factor? Was it after Climb? Like, what happened? Like,
It was after Climb. I've always been a solo agent. Well, that's not true. Maybe 2003, 2004, I was with another top producer in the city. But when Climb when we transitioned out of Climb, I realized, I do really like that whole team atmosphere, and being a solo agent is great, but there is definitely, rewarding just information that you get and being able to be a mentor, but then just experience. It's all kind of a cliche, but it's very real. It's also accountability, having somebody, another person be there for you. You have to be accountable for them. I also, I had a kid, and that for some reason like blossomed the like mother part of me for some reason. And so I found that my strength in being kind of like a den mom, being able to be a mentor, that just really blossomed at that time. And it all came together. And it was not planned.
So it's like that natural nurture.
Yep.
Now it's like amplified.
Yep.
And how old's the baby?
It's on steroids. She's like your height. She's 4.5 and
She's
so
4.5?
tall. Yeah, no, she's
Oh.
amazing.
All right, so let's
She's a
do this, you
handful.
guys. I want to ask, because you're all at similar levels in your business. So I kind of want to understand your organization. Like, who does what? Who do you have in support roles? Because I think that it's probably different in every team up here, but there's probably some similarities. So let's start with you, Lauren, and we'll work our way on down. So tell us about your organization and how it's currently structured.
Yeah, so I obviously am the lead, homes by me. But then I have 2 agents that handle additional leads. And then from their support staff, I have a VA that does a lot of marketing aspects for us that they don't need to be present for. Transaction coordinator obviously handles all our files because I can't be trusted with those. And then operations manager that takes care of absolutely everything else.
Awesome, awesome. And we're going to talk towards the end of the session. We'll talk like big picture, what that looks like, down the road, 3 years, 2 years. So how about for you guys? What's the organization look like?
Well, our team is a team of 7. We have Bree, who's one of our first agent.
What's up, Bree?
That's
How are
Bree.
you?
And then Gaia previously was our director of operations. Gaia just got her license,
Congratulations.
so she'll be transitioning into more of an agent role shortly. We also have Raquel, who's an agent that went to Santa Clara with Anthony. We have our wonderful VA, CJ. Is the camera right here?
It's right there in the center.
Hi, CJ.
Hello,
He's
Free
watching.
Good.
He's watching from the Philippines. We actually brought him on initially as more admin, but we discovered his wonderful gift of brand strategy and marketing. So he handles all of our brand and Playhouse and TikTok and Instagram. So shout out to CJ. And then Barnaby is our other VA, who's also in the Philippines that handles more admin.
So as people are growing and they're looking at growing a virtual assistant team, international concierge team, whatever you call that, like where are you going for those resources and how are you vetting those potential assistants out?
Yeah, so we actually use VA Hub.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah,
So do we.
and great service. You interview a few folks and then kind of decide which one's the best for you. We got really lucky. Also guys, he's on Spotify. DJ Villavicenzo, I told him I would give him a shout out. He has a record deal in the Philippines.
How many people utilize VAs in their business right now? So we have utilized VAs and it's really transformed our business. And shout out to the VAs, VA Hubs, Year Rock, wherever you're. I don't know how they do as much as they possibly do.
Do a lot.
Right? I think they should probably train agents on like time management because our VAs, end of the day report, we're like, how did you do that? Are you okay? We're good. We'll take more work on. We're like, okay. So like, shout out to them. Glad you got some great people in your corner. And how about for you? Let's talk about organization.
All right, so we do have 2 VAs. We've got, and they're both in the Philippines, and they're amazing. We've got a whole back office. I'm with Side, so we have really just at our fingertips, whole marketing platform that is pretty amazing. The support is excellent. We've got a graphic designer and a social media expert.
Yes.
I don't have an assistant. I haven't had an assistant in a while. I mean, we've got our virtual assistant, but I don't have like a personal assistant or anything like that. I tend to be the assistant for the team in a little bit of a way, which maybe is not the best use of my time, but it's also a way for me to know exactly what's happening all the time.
Yeah.
So if something needs to happen at one of our listings, we need to go run a light over there. That's a way for me to check on inventory and see the property and see how, our brand is being presented.
Wow, super engaged. Love this. All right, so let's go rapid fire, each of you guys. If you had to put a dream position or fill a dream position right now in your organization, knowing where you are and where you're going to, one dream position, what would it be? What would they do?
You're saying immediately or eventually?
Let's just say, based on your goals and where you want to go, if you had a dream position that you need to fill, what would that be? And what would that person do?
So immediately, I need another buyer's agent. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
Okay.
But eventually, a listing coordinator.
Cool. Love it. How about for you? Dream position that would be filled in this next year. Who is that person? What do they do?
I need a nanny.
Right?
Yes.
We're lucky to have
We haven't
Anthony.
experienced what
I
it's like
know.
this.
We're lucky to have Anthony's mom, but what ends up happening is we have to tend to Maze a lot during the day, and then when she goes to bed at like 7 or 8, that's when we get a lot of our stuff done,
Yeah.
and then we don't go to bed until 12, and that's when she wants to wake up. And now
And then she wakes up early.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
yes.
All right. So how about for
Perpetually
you?
tired.
Yeah. Same thing. Nanny.
Nanny, number one.
Okay.
Number two would be another buyer's agent, and then someone to write all of our contracts for us.
Love
we're training
that.
Barnaby. I'm training
Yes.
Barnaby.
So you guys go out, show the property, figure out a number, figure out terms, and then you send that over to Barnaby or whoever, and they create that and send it out DocuSign. Cool. How about for you?
So I have a nanny and we have an amazing offer writing platform. So those are covered. I could use a listing coordinator, another listing coordinator, somebody to go around and make sure our listings look good.
Mm.
Because there's so many little details, like it's a hot listing market, but there's many ways to fail in presenting,
Yes.
watering plants, making sure the staging doesn't look hoopty, that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I love this because you said like protect the brand,
correct.
right? Protect how things look to a consumer because that's super, super important. So let's talk a little bit about values within your team. When you think about you guys have your own color, you have your own logo, you have your own flow. Like if we're talking about core values and what we're talking about as a company and your organization, like what are your core values as a team? If someone says, hey, tell me what your core values are because I want to see if I align with that. No, I don't. You see if I align with those. No, if I actually align with these ones. Like, what are your core values as a team? We'll start here at the center.
I think it's obvious for us, the FIT and Team Fit, focused, inspired, transparent. I mean, everything Lauren and I strive to do, we strive to be authentic and the realest versions of ourselves, and just put that out there. Because what you put out, you get back, you attract. So just be authentically yourself. That's-
Yeah, I love that.
Our like quick origin story is that when we bought our place in Oakland in 2016, it was a very poor experience. And so we wanted to make sure that we could provide a better experience to others. So empathy is something that we probably say 80 times a week, just being empathetic. And like Anthony said, bringing our authentic selves to each transaction is the most important.
Love it. Lauren, how about for you? Core values.
So I actually have a little acronym for mine. It is CAF. It's not sexy, but you won't forget it. A collaborative spirit. So we all work together to get things done. I don't have my team do anything that I either haven't done or wouldn't do. Accountability. So own your shit. Do what you say you're gonna do, and if you make a mistake, own up to it and fix it. Loyalty. I am an extreme loyalist. So if you're in my circle, I will kill someone for you. And our team functions exactly that way. And business and life are hard. So I think it's better when you have a level of love and respect for the people that you're working with. And then last and certainly not least is fun. We have a lot of fun. I would say happy hour to celebrate our wins is one of our core values.
Yeah, okay. Good.
So that
We're aware of that.
rounds it out.
Good stuff. So how about for you, Melody?
Yeah, very similar. So integrity, assistance, and fun. Those are our 3 core values. And it basically boils down to help more people, have more fun, make more money.
Love it. Love it. So when you guys are thinking like big picture, how big do you want to see your team, let's just say in the next 5 years? Like when you think ideas of grandeur, ideas of influence, and ideas of structure and how big you want to grow to free up your time to be parents, to travel, to do things that you want to do. like, what does that number look like for you? Is there a goal that you'd like to achieve in the next 5 years of how big your team is going to be? Or is that there's not a number? So let's just have this conversation. Start over here with you,
Yeah.
Melanie.
So for me, like I set volume goals every year, and I feel like our team is kind of a family, right? So I'm not necessarily looking for other people. It's like if you're a fit, that's great. Which is one of the things I've had to learn is not everybody's a fit. Sometimes they'll come on and it's not a good fit, and you can't take it personally. It just it didn't work out. So I try to set production goals, and however that happens, it happens. It's kind of a little gray, but that's how it goes.
It's organic, right?
Yeah, it's totally organic.
Cool. And that's why you guys conversing right now. You have one? Wait,
He
like-
looked at me like, are you gonna answer that? I think 100 million has always been a goal that we're like, how quickly can we get there?
Yeah.
We did 51 last year. Thanks.
And where are you at right now this year? You're at 12 million
12,
sold, 9 million pending.
yeah.
So you're already ahead of your scheduled goal for the year.
Yeah, in general, a little behind because we would love to get to 75 this year.
Right, okay.
But I mean, I think that the structure is different, right? Bree has been crushing it. I think in the first 2 months of the year, she already met her production from all of last year. And
Shout
she
out
has
Bree.
Oh,
just got her
Bree.
offer accepted yesterday. So in terms of size, Gaya's gonna be coming on as an agent. We're probably gonna recruit, and I say recruit, but very similar to Melody. If you're a fit, you're a fit. If you're like, you kind of know within 30 seconds
Yeah.
if someone's gonna be your tribe. So, if we come in contact with those people, we'd love to get to maybe like another 4 or 5 agents by the end of the year.
Cool. Love this. Love this. How about you, Lauren?
I think I'm very similar. That's probably why we're all small teams. We can't all be Kenny.
Can't all be
but,
Kenny. That's right.
I do want to immediately add 2 agents to our team this year. I'm similar in that production goals. I'm trying to pull a Jeremy Larson and double every year. So did just over 50 million last year, on track for 100 this year. Hopefully next year, 200. And aside from that, I actually want to grow an additional team in a separate market. I've been really inspired by some other agents that have done that out of state and
Nice.
successfully managed both. So hence the listing coordinator here.
Love it. Love it. So let's talk about the importance of leadership and leadership skills. Because I think that you could be a top producer in this business and then walk into now a leadership position and then fall flat on your face. Because there's so many variables that go into being a leader and really making sure that you're pulling the best out of people, right? How do I get someone to change their behavior? How do I hold somebody accountable? How do I get this person to produce because they said that they wanted to do this so badly for their family, but their actions are not followed up by the things that they said that they truly wanted to do? So I want to ask you guys, like, how are you staying sharp in your leadership skills? What are you reading? What circles are you in? And how are you staying sharp as a leader so you can be the best for your teams? And we'll start with Lauren, and we're just going to work our way around organically. It's Lauren.
Oh, me one.
Chameleon Lauren. Chameleon Lauren.
I agree. It's Lisa Quach. So I've coached volleyball. That's how I met Gaya. I've coached Orange Theory, CrossFit, Tough Mudder, Bolo Fit. So I come from a coaching background, and I think for me, it's very natural to identify people's potential. And so for me, it's how do you bring it out? And a big part of that process is just you got to go for it. So I think the interview process is very, I don't know the right word, but some people interview well and don't perform, and some people don't interview well and are amazing performers.
Totally.
So you really have to hire slow and fire fast, because like that gal that had lived in our house for exactly 3 weeks, we learned that that was not a good idea. So I think identifying people's potential through getting to know them in a very long hiring process, but doesn't feel long.
Okay.
Does that make
Can I
sense?
ask why? it didn't work out? Sorry.
Oh, actually, that's a great question.
Yeah,
What was
like
the question?
why? Why didn't it work
really
out? Because if I'm living in your house, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna take out the trash.
We have
I'm
a
gonna do
sick
this thing.
house too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have cool cats.
Beautiful mural
Yeah.
outside, like
So we didn't set the right expectations.
Okay.
We had an extra room in our house. We figured, hey, you don't pay rent, but you work for us. And so financially, I was like, hey, it makes sense. We almost like get work for free.
Mm.
her focus was just not real estate. Very capable individual. She's going to succeed in whatever she does in life for sure.
Yeah.
But we weren't aligned on this is what I need from you. And so we failed to set the right expectation up front, which is why it didn't work out.
Yeah, she was very young too, so
Yeah.
her focus was elsewhere.
She had photography. She had binary trading, something going on. So, you know, do
Okay.
you?
She had a life outside of real
I
estate?
know.
How dare she?
I didn't know that existed.
How dare
Well.
she? Okay, so Anthony, for you, like, you know, the coaching background, that's obviously a correlation to driving human behavior. How about for you? Like, how are you developing your leadership skills? What are you reading? What rooms are you in? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I will say Lauren is the captain of this ship. And we're very fortunate to be blessed with an amazing coach. Ryan, shout out, I don't know if you're watching this. So we meet with him every other week, and he just kind of steers on the right path. You know, he knows we're very unorganized in the general sense. So he's done a lot of work with us behind the scenes to make sure we stay on track, you know, really plan out our numbers, how we're going to get to those numbers, what we're going to do, what steps we're going to take. So he's been very, very instrumental in our growth in the last 2 years. So he's a big part of kind of how we're operating right now. As far as what we're reading or watching, I'm not reading anything, to be honest. I pride myself on just trying to be positive with everything, right? Because with this job, it's so, as everyone up here knows, it's such a roller coaster of emotions dealing with clients. So as long as you have a positive mindset and just stay in high spirits, I think that's the biggest thing that gets us through day by day.
Keeps us calm. He's the calm
And yeah, like that, I think that's one of your superpowers. It's like
Thank you.
voice, right? Because anytime you talk to him, I've never seen him like, what? He's always a super voice, right? But like, how do you help somebody else manage that? Like, I think here on this stage, I think we have a really good understanding of how to manage emotions, how to stay positive, right? So like, how do you help someone else as you're now developing people? How do you help them when you see them? Like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, how, is that hard for you? Is it challenging? Is it new to you? Like, talk to that.
Yeah, I think it's being a good listener, right? Because dealing with different people every single day, you have different personalities, different emotions, different, X, Y, and Z. And so lending an ear, being a good listener, really opening yourself up to what that whether it's an agent on our team or a client that we're dealing with, listening to their needs and wants and really identifying what those may be, and then determining a solution on how to react to what they're telling you. And Lauren and I, we do a lot of collaboration, obviously. So we bounce a ton of ideas off of each other, how we're going to attack this, how we're going to do that, how we're going to approach this client or let them know this information. So just again, being a good listener and really being present.
Oh, good stuff. How about you, Melody?
I forgot the question.
So it's about, I know we digress for a second, but like leadership skills, how are you developing? What are you reading? What rooms are you in? That way you can grow your skills in order to better serve them.
Right. So one of my fears is that I won't be seen as useful to my team. It's like a character flaw. So I'm constantly either, I look at Inman. Obviously, we should all be looking at Brad's
For sure.
page, his group. And then I actually do read business and negotiation texts.
Yeah.
I read a lot of how to deal with your kids books. And that actually also translates into real estate.
Makes sense.
And then, for our team meetings, I always try to have somebody come in. So we have like a mortgage corner every Monday. We meet every Monday. I have somebody who talks about rates and trends, condo questionnaires, just all the stuff that you need to know, and it's constantly changing. I had like Berkeley, the BASO department come in and talk to my people because my agents were like, BASO, oh my God, it's so crazy. But really, we just needed an explanation. And now everyone on the team is like, BASO's not a problem. I'm trying constantly to educate myself and bring people in so that I am of value. Just innately, that's like my biggest fear is that
Wow.
I'll just be, I feel like I'm here to help them.
So it keeps you sharp.
Yeah.
Like that fear of loss.
It's
Because
whatever.
we're all wired to one of two ways, either hope for gain or fear of loss.
I mean, I come from a big family and
Yeah.
yeah, but it works for me. It works for my personality. It works.
Totally.
So,
I
yeah.
love this. Lauren, how about for you? Like what rooms, what are you reading? How are you developing your leadership skills?
Well, I'm a huge consumer of personal development content. I'm like a sponge for that stuff. I'm a big believer of no wasted time. So if I'm on a long drive in the car, I have a training on, very similar to Melody, where I'm constantly trying to consume things to add value to my team. So I'll listen to things and someone like the other day, I heard someone say, go to the Ring doorbell and tell them what you love about their home. And I was like, that's a cool idea. And I blasted it to my whole team. But even more so, like Atomic Habits, my favorite book, podcasts constantly. And the other thing I would say is just making sure, like, if you really want to be a leader, that you're someone that's worth following. So just figuring out your daily routine and making sure you're setting that example yourself.
Beautiful. Like how long into your career did it take you to get like an efficient daily routine?
I mean, I've always been a routine person. I thrive on routine, but it's more so getting the right routine for managing others, because managing people is hard.
Totally.
I think the biggest shift for me was getting my health routine in check. So I wake up early, I work out, I meditate, I journal. I'm naturally an anxious person. So I have to get my mind right, or I'm going to pass that anxiety off to my team, which they don't need that. No one wants that. So I do that for myself first, and then I move into my workday. So that probably took me the last 2 years. I got that down.
Love this. Love this. You have one of your team members in the room, so this might be a little bit challenging, but I might call on you for
Okay.
this. So let's talk. Obviously, we understand that you guys have your values in which you guys operate upon, right? Well, what if a client is working with Bria and asks, well, what is your team's unique value proposition? What are you guys going to do for us that is vastly different than the McLane team? What are you guys going to do that's vastly different than the Nova team? Are you able to articulate that? And is your team able to articulate that? And if so, what is that? And let's hear from you first. Do you have a unique value proposition that your whole team understands and knows what makes you guys different?
So if they're talking to my buyer's agent,
Yep.
they are going to lead with straight facts about what the percentages are of clients we get into contract, how little of time it takes. That's what stands out in terms of negotiation skills. But I think we all should be good at our job. I think that's the baseline standard.
Of course.
So in terms of what makes our team different, I would say creativity and community. So my background's in marketing. So that's kind of what lights my fire. We're always trying to figure out ways to do things differently, ways to make our listings stand out, ways to change up our marketing, because there's this unwritten rule in real estate that everything needs to be done the same way. You have to have tours on Tuesday. Everyone has to have a red or a blue sign. That's the fun part about owning a business. You don't
Right.
have to do anything you don't want to do. So I think we're constantly trying to step outside the box with what we're doing. So we stand out in that way, even if it's just stupid stuff. Like we have a chalkboard we put outside all of our listings. I cannot tell you how many people stop and they're like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Love
It is a chalkboard, but other people don't do it. And then in terms of community, I'm a natural connector. That's what I like. I'm an extrovert. So we have worked really hard to create a community for our clients. So we do community events once a quarter. We have a lot of our clients now that have become friends. Now, if I get a week past sending the invite for the quarter, they're like, where's the quarterly event invite? Like, I will get it to you. Chill. You will see your buddy Betty. It'll be okay. So yeah, I think that's kind of what sets us apart.
I love that. And I love that you have a background in marketing. And I told this to our team this morning on a huge group coaching session. Like when you think about how this industry is changing, when you think about interest rates just recently going up, when you think about seasons and change and things that are happening in the business, you have to have a marketing message that adapts to whatever's going on around you. It's just like a company, right? When you see a company's ad on TV, they're adjusting based on consumer behavior, consumer patterns, seasonality, and change in economy. A great real estate team and a great real estate professional allows themselves to adjust based on what's going on around them. So think of yourself as running your own ad campaign. It should be fresh. It should be new. It should be creative. It should be diverse because it's an ever-changing market. So don't stick with one path. Be able to be open to change messaging and do things in certain ways. So I really love that. So how about for you guys? UVP. We're going back to the original question, like, what is the UVP? Why work with you guys versus these two?
You know, I had to Google it when you sent it to me yesterday because I was like, what is a UVP?
Sorry.
I'm not gonna lie. It's funny because I think we all say that we have to stand out, right? And it is true, and that's what we build our team off of. I think one thing that we've done really well is have really creative listing videos. You guys ever seen The Dome? I have a little country accent in our listing there. Or, you know, we did like a thriller. Anthony's trying to find me in this home and in turn touring the home for Maxwell Sweetie. Things like that I think are important. But to be really honest, I think we kind of take a different approach in the sense that we don't lead with numbers. And I know numbers are super important, but I think it's just because of naturally who we are that if I show up to a listing appointment, to be really honest, I'm not bringing anything. I'm showing up as me, maybe have some joggers on, not trying to look like I'm trying too hard because I don't want to give off that vibe. And just find something to connect with that person. And yes, I know the numbers in terms of comps and, you know, potential value for your house, but I think what's most important first is for them to trust you. If they trust you, I think they don't even have to see our listing videos. They don't have to know our production. I think, to be honest, clients don't really know how things work when it comes to production or what brokerage you're with. They don't really care. They don't know. So as long as they can connect with you here, I think that's the value that we bring in terms of we know how it works and we know how you're feeling because we've been through that process, and we're going to take care of you. Just like Lauren said, loyalty. I have loyalty tattooed on me. Like, I'm loyal to the day I die, and I got you throughout this whole process.
Okay, this is really, really powerful. You know what consumers want more than anything is they want the ability to feel safe. Can your messaging tell a story of how I'm going to be safe? The fact that she wants to connect lets them know that, hey, first and foremost, I got you. I'm going to connect with you. I want to be able to make sure that I understand your needs, your cares, and wants, and I'll make sure that my team delivers, right? Does my marketing, does my messaging say, this is who we are, and can I get a ton of answers about who you are as an individual before you sit at my kitchen table? Last year, I voted them to have, there was no like real vote, I just voted them. There was no like poll or anything, but I voted them for having the most creative listing videos that I had seen for the entire year of 2021. It was literally a story, small, like indie films about a listing. You know what they never said? Hi, welcome to 123 Main Street. Come on in. Beautifully situated on this cul-de-sac, right? Which just works, but they just took it in a completely different direction. So love that angle, and I love like just coming in and like serving with, hey, how can I understand who this person is? Your take on this?
Yeah, so in addition to all that, and piggybacking off the whole listing videos, we like to give our homes personalities, right? We like to bring and evoke the emotion that comes with either the family that has lived there previously and now we're selling it, or for the potential family that will be moving in. So going back to the videos, or even just our marketing in general, our copy, whatever, we like to elicit like some type of emotion to make the listing come to life, because I think it's very important. Because we're not just trying to make the sale, we're trying to, I said this in the beginning, we're selling a lifestyle.
Right, I love that. Melody, how about for you? Nova UVP.
Okay, so I got started as a listing agent back in the day. Again, John. So it depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to sellers, we have a track record. We have a history of presenting properties, advising sellers, marketing them in their best light, doing interesting things, not quite as interesting as some of the stuff you guys do, but always trying to think, you know, outside, quote unquote, outside the box, trying to present your listing in the best light. But then we also are like seriously connected in the real estate industry. Part of that is because I've been doing it for so long. That's just naturally what's going to happen, but that's something you can't copy. It's completely unique. So, so there's that. And then for buyers, I have some beast mode buyers agents on my team that are just like crazy. They're so good. They're so good. They're way better than me. And I love to be able to offer that to people who are looking for a home. You know, people come to us and they're like, oh, our friends told us it was going to take 2 years. And the people we talked to have written 36 offers. And I'm like, nobody says that about us. That doesn't happen with us. So
I absolutely love this. I love this because two things, right? She said, like, it's literally hashtag beast mode, but like seriously connected. And how does that provide safety for a client? Well, my relationship in the real estate community means that I'm going to get more information that's going to help you get your home faster. And at the end of the day, you don't want to go through the headache of writing 36 offers and spending the next 6 months writing offers, right? That shit sucks.
neither do I.
Nor do you, right? So how many people can really articulate what their battle plan is? And if you don't have a battle plan, like you need to be able to articulate what is your battle plan. When you work with me as your buyer's agent, this is my battle plan. This is how I'm going to get the contract accepted. Average agent in our environment gets their clients into contract after X amount of attempts. Average day from an agent to get the client and actually into escrow is X amount of days. This is what we provide for you. Looking forward to working with you. Let's hop on a Zoom so we go over the buyer's consultation. I love that. That hashtag beast mode, what was it? Extremely connected. What was it?
Extremely connected.
Extremely connected. I love this. I love this stuff.
Extreme connectivity.
Extreme connectivity. So I absolutely love this. So let's talk about the future, you guys, of this business. Over the next couple of years, what do you see happening in the real estate industry? Because I think in the last 2 years since pandemic, it flipped the script on everything that we thought that was normal in our real estate industry. You guys agree with that? Right? Normalcy was thrown out the window. And so when we look ahead and what's coming in our industry, what's going to change, and how technology has really made their stance in our industry, like where do you guys see the business going over the next couple of years? We'll start in the middle, then we'll work our way around. I love that they have their keys.
I think the real estate agent, the individual, is going to become more important than ever, than what we previously thought. Because if you look like Zillow, iBuy, whatever that program was,
Yeah, tanked here.
tanked.
Yeah.
It tanked. And real estate is just so emotional and so intertwined, and there's just so many moving pieces that you need that connection with a team, an individual, whoever it may be, to really guide you through that process and make sure you're making the right decision for yourself, for your family, etc. So that's where I see overall the vision of for the future of real estate. In regards to our team, it's kind of been the theme for us. We're flying by the seat of our pants. We of course want to keep it growing. Lauren threw out 100 million. That's always been like, ever since we got into business, we looked up to like agents who do 100 million. Like, oh, that seems like such a crazy number. How are we going to get that? How are we going to do that? So that is that's in the pipeline, and just continue to produce and foster and create a culture where people want to grow with us.
Love this. I love this. So, Lauren, like, where do you see this business in 5 years? Things have changed. And I think if you would have asked somebody a couple of years ago, oh, you ever heard this? Oh, the real estate agent's going to go away. I just don't, I don't see it. I just don't see it. Is there people that are going to go in the self-check line? Absolutely. I'm a guy that never goes in the self-check line because I want that human interaction. Hi, how are you doing? Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. Like, I just need that. Right? So I'm never going to go in the self-check line. So where do you see the industry going in the next 5 years?
That's a big question.
Totally.
I just have to piggyback off what Anthony said. I think the image of the real estate agent is going to change the most. I think one stat that we preached since the beginning is I think the average agent as of 2017, 2018 was a 57-year-old Caucasian woman, which by the standards of the United States is probably true. In the Bay Area, not so much. We're spoiled in the sense that we grew up in diversity, so we're accustomed to it. And I think that the image of the real estate agent is going to change the most. That, you know, for better or for worse, I think people have a certain perception of what an agent is. and we love breaking that mold. One of my favorite things is showing a house and the agent goes, "Oh, where's your agent? Or who's your agent?" And I go, "Oh, I
silly.
am the agent." And then, then
You're
our
like-
client comes up. Yeah. No, so I think that's really important in terms of like the industry itself. I mean, more than ever throughout the pandemic, people have realized how important home is. People are stuck in their apartment trying to battle over who gets the living room for their Zoom that day because it's a better background than the bathroom or the bedroom. And people understand how important their own space is. So at the beginning, we were like, "Oh my God, are we gonna have to change careers?" We didn't know what was gonna happen. And we ended up doubling our business. And I think from there, it's just gonna give a lot of opportunity for a lot of agents and teams, again, to bring their authentic selves to that team, because that's really what's gonna resonate with the folks that are either buying or selling.
Love this. Well, your take on this. Next 5 years, Inman panel. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, industry-wise, I think we've kind of moved out of that scarcity we were in for a while of the iBuyer is going to take over and realtors are going to be put out of a job. I think we've proven that that's not going to happen. But I do think that there's going to be a divide between the true pros and people that don't really know what they're doing because changing social climate, rates are going up. Those kind of things. If you are not able to articulate that to your clients and, like you said, provide a sense of safety, I don't think those agents will make it. So I think it's going to be more important to be a true professional in doing stuff.
100%.
What's the
I love
stat,
that.
Elias? I think you told me before, like certain percentage of agents in their first 2 years are already
87%.
87. Yeah.
87% of people will not make it.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I'll come to you in just a second, Melody, but really good points here, because here's what I've seen more so than ever. The agents of tomorrow are the agents that have truly built a personal brand. If you're not using social, if you do not have a way to document your journey and who you are as an individual in this business, you are missing out a huge portion of the business. You have to be the person that is able to be, you can tell a story by someone just going onto your wall. Like, wow, look at who she is. Love this. Also, how are you bringing together community? Consumers want community more so than ever. And are you doing that in your authentic way? Like Eric, like you wouldn't think like traditional real estate, like I'm so okay, like showing tattoos in this environment. 10 years ago, we would have been looked at like, oh, they're never gonna make it, never, right? So I think that authenticity and the ability to rock whoever you are and be able to showcase that is 100% okay. It's the people that are hiding behind something and there's some falseness, and the client says, it's probably, look at the hair, I think it's purple underneath that. I think it's purple. And why isn't she showing me her purple hair, right? So for the context of the conversation, be comfortable showing your purple hair in the future because that's what a consumer wants. The consumer wants someone that is real and is able to showcase the person who they are. Because at the end of the day, that's who I want to do business with. Tell me who you are. Let's have some fun. Let's chop it up. And you're an expert. Great. I need the help. But I don't want to do work or business with somebody that is going to come to be false. Melody, let's hear from you. Next 5 years. Is that a selfie? Let me see it. Let me see it. Hold on. Come here.
So one of my agents just texted me and I was like, "Dude, I'm on the panel." So I sent him the picture.
Hold on. Can we, what's her name?
His name,
Is it Patrick?
it's Patrick.
Okay, hold on really quick. Hold on.
He's amazing, by the way. He's one of the beast mode agents.
Okay, hold on. We're getting on the phone with Patrick right now. Beast mode.
Careful how you answer, Patrick. Oh my
Okay.
God.
Hey, Patrick, how are you? I'm Elias Estudo. I'm the moderator for this amazing event. Your team leader, Melody, is here right now. You're in front of all these people, Patrick. You know what she said about you?
Patrick.
She said that you represent beast mode, that you're out there killing it, bro. So if you can, just give her a call back in about 30 minutes. We'll be done. Say hi to Patrick. Sorry, I had to do that. Sorry, I had to do that.
So totally appropriate for our team.
Right.
It's totally
I
fine.
think I've met Patrick at a listing
He's
before.
amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing. I actually met him on a listing appointment.
Love
Tried
it.
to sell his house and he's like, I was like, I can get you a lot of money. And he's like, but where do I go? And then 6 months later, he's like, all right, so I think anyways, anybody wants to talk about Patrick, he's amazing. The question
Where do you
was,
see the industry 5 years?
oh, okay. So the luxury market is insulated. nothing, if you want to be like of value, you need to really talk about like white glove service and being with, representing luxury and, customization, so that you're not just like, hey, this is me. I mean, it's great to have an Instagram feed and whatever, but you really have to reflect and be empathetic for your clients. And the luxury market really feels that. And so I think that's going to be insulated. Our markets, I mean, I can't predict, but we're definitely going to have some kind of attrition, at least for real estate agents, because it's just numbers and things, rates are going up and there's more, there's going to be more real estate agents than there are buyers and sellers. But I would absolutely echo on what everybody's saying, that be your authentic self and come at this business from a place of balance and abundance, instead of like trying, I never calculate my commission ever. It's like, I'm also very superstitious, but I never calculate my commission. I mean, I know what it is in my head, but I never sit down and calculate it while I'm, doing a deal, because I feel like it's bad luck, and it's just, you need to come from a place of abundance. So I think you'll be okay if that's what you follow.
Love it.
And he's
love
calling
it.
me back.
He's calling you back. Okay. Patrick's like, hold on. So you guys, abundance over scarcity. I love this. I'm going to actually grab your mic from you really quick. I'm going to go over to Bria. So Bria, like, this is unrehearsed. So I just want to ask you a quick question. Like, being on their team, like, what does that mean? Like, how are they as leaders? And you guys, like, this is true, like, right? And this is good for you guys, right? Be easy on them, though, all right? But like, what? Tell us.
So to clarify, it's Bree.
Bree, what did I say? Bria?
Bria.
Oh, I just had a meeting with Bria. I'm sorry. Bree, sorry. My
Okay,
apologies.
happens all the time. So one of the reasons that I joined this team is because, like, when I decided to become a real estate agent, I was like, okay, what do I want my career to look like? I'm tired. I was in HR for 12 years. If anybody knows me, like, it's the last place I should be. Like, I'm tired of pretending to be something and someone that I'm not on a daily basis. Like, I want to be authentic. And I knew I wanted systems, but I also wanted authenticity, and I wanted to be able to operate as myself and not apologize for that. And I saw them doing that. And it was just like, okay, it's like, can I just have a conversation? It wasn't even like, can I join your team? I didn't know that they were hiring. It was just like, I asked you how you did this. And then, we just kind of clicked, and Lauren and I are basically the same person. And so it's like going through that process with them. They've been very great at like mentoring me enough, but like not micromanaging me.
Yeah.
And trusting me that like they can give me a lead and I'll close it. And, we all kind of come from the same situation. Them, me, Raquel, having purchased a home and not had a good experience. And so wanting to give that to other people. So I think that's also like ingrained in the values of the team.
I love that.
So, the focus, inspired, transparent, like obviously integrity, and then educating. I think we're all very passionate about educating, and I love working with first-time buyers, like talking about the way the industry is going to change. It's just thinking about those people, like the people I just closed, how many freaking questions and texts and like everything that you get from them, like who's going to answer that if the agent goes away?
Yeah.
If the lender's not going to help you. I mean, they'll help you with the lending side, but they're not going to help you with all the other stuff. So anyways, it's just working with them has been great because they just kind of like let me fly,
Love it.
and
Two more questions.
okay.
Are they more hammer or more velvet hammer? Meaning, are they more hard? Or are they more like easier on you, but with a little bit of a hammer?
I think it's a good balance. Like
Okay, good.
they
Love that.
they do hold you accountable,
Okay.
but they understand that we're human. And it's like, as long as you own your shit, as long as you're not like, oh no, that wasn't me. Like, like
Good
own
hammer,
your
good
shit.
Oh, hold on, what? Wait, did you say it wasn't your fault? Anthony, get the
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
Get the baby.
Like, we're all gonna make mistakes. Like,
So-
just own it and move forward.
Love that. And then second question, do you live with them?
No.
Okay. Cool. So cool. So keys to success. So, all right, guys, as we wrap up, I just want to ask a question, and let's just go around the room. Like, probably had a lot of influences in this business, through your time in this business. So, Lauren, I want to ask you, who's been one of your biggest inspirations in this business? And then on the flip side, what's been one of the hardest lessons that you've learned in this business? Best inspiration or the biggest inspiration, maybe you have multiple. And then what's one of the hardest lessons that you've learned?
I would say biggest inspiration is easy. That would be my grandmother. Some of you know her. She's about this big. She has been a realtor forever. And she really taught me the power of personal connection and how to build a referral business. So
I love it.
I grew up around that. My first office, I walked in and they said, "Let me give you a tour." And I said, "No, let me give you a tour. I've been here since I was 3." So yeah, definitely her, hands down. She's an angel. She's a much better person than I am, but I like to think I took a little bit of that. And then what was the other one?
Biggest lesson that you've learned in this business? Hardest lesson. Let's go hardest lesson.
Wait, that's 2. Best or hardest?
The hard, let's change it. Hardest.
Hardest lesson. I would say that there are people that can do things better than I can, and I need to let them go.
Yes, yes. Putting the ego aside. Yeah, good stuff. Good for you.
What was the first question? now?
Most
Sorry.
inspirational person in this business for you, and then
Okay,
the challenge question or the
the hardest.
hardest question.
So in the business, we take a lot of inspiration. In fact, where we got stay focused and stay inspired is from an agent actually in SoCal, Kevin Sturdivant. Should follow him on Instagram. It's at Kevion, Kevion. We took his 12-week coaching program back in 2019, and he really helped us just get our shit together. And we still look to him for a lot of just guidance. And his motto and his whole aura is kind of what we experienced. We did Tom Ferry for a long time, and it just wasn't our
Yeah.
shtick. So, you just got to find what works for you. Hardest lesson, being real transparent here. Cover your ass. Everything in real estate you need to have in writing, whether it's your best friend that you grew up with for 20 years and you're going to help them buy a house. Sorry, when it comes to millions of dollars, they may not be your best friend at the end of it. So be careful when you mix that personal and business, and cover your ass, everything in writing. This is a very litigious business, and understand that you may get sued at some point, and you're going to have to deal with it. And thank God for E&O and brokerages, and that they cover you, but make sure you have everything in writing, because even if you didn't do something, you have to prove that you did not do something.
Yes.
So take that from experience.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Anthony, same questions for
He
you.
was
bro.
like, whoa.
Biggest inspiration. So my dad, he was a broker in San Francisco for like 20 plus years. Growing up, I never thought I'd follow in his footsteps and get into real estate myself. But when Lauren and I purchased our first property in 2016, it wasn't a pleasant experience. So just leaning on him through that process, and as we decided to get into real estate, we decided to get into real estate because we could just make this process so much smoother for everyone that we work with. So just leaning on my dad throughout that, and even to this day, asking a bunch of questions, this and that. So he's been a huge help for both of us. Hardest lesson would be, it's okay to fire clients. I think that
yes.
took a while, especially, you're trying to business.
Yeah.
You-
Can we get a round of applause for that?
Yeah. Like when we first started, we would tail on anyone because we wanted to build our business. We wanted to put in the work. We wanted to, we wanted to make money, right? And as we progressed, as we got more experience, as we got more deals under our belts, we realized it's not always worth the headache. It's not always about the commission. Our whole mindset shifted as we grew mentally. And so everyone's not worth the headache, and it's okay to let them go.
You guys, I'll tell you this. Number one thing in this business, just protect your energy. Don't let anybody steal that from you. If you feel like it is taking from you, then drop them, because your sanity, your mental health is more important than anything in this business.
Yes.
Do not ever discount that. I'm so glad you said that. Melody, how about for you?
Let's see. So I've been blessed to have many mentors in my real estate career, and I keep an open mind, right? Like I hold some of these people in such high esteem, and I would like to be like them. So I pick up things that they're doing, and I really appreciate the opportunity of having them in my life. I have company owners, previous companies I've worked with that I've just found amazing. Folks that I've worked with as listing agents that kind of helped me cut my teeth, which I just feel blessed for being at the right time, right place, right time. So it's really collaborative. And then really the biggest lesson, like Lauren says, getting sued sucks. The E in email is for evidence, I'll let you know that. It also goes for texts. And just make sure that, it doesn't matter who the client is, you are protecting your own core brand and your own core business, and millions of dollars, like people will, you can't predict what people are going to do. So you really have to toe the line and not deviate. And those are some things that you can't learn without experience, but please listen to me. I mean, nothing bad has happened, but you really need to take that into consideration. It's a hugely litigious business we're in.
Totally, absolutely. You guys, I'm going to turn it to you in a second, but I wanted to ask you guys rapid fire. This is probably pretty hard because I don't personally see myself doing anything else in my life for the rest of my life. But if you could do something else, if you were to do something else in life for employment, that's what you were doing other than real estate, and you weren't where you are now, building a team, being a successful real estate professional, what would that industry be? What would you do? Ooh.
Well, I would either be an event planner, but I don't want to work every weekend for nothing, so that's why I'm not that. Or a business coach, which ties into one.
Perfect. How about you?
We were just talking about this, and I was saying, you know what Elias does for Team Fast? I would really love to do. Just coaching in general is just like in my blood. So if we didn't have I shouldn't even say that because we have our own team, and I kind of am doing that for our team. But you just do it on such a large scale. It's very impressive. So to do that, what you do and bring that passion is what I feel like we're doing. So I guess I kind of don't answer your question because I'm already doing it.
Well, yeah, you already are. And I'll tell you what, when you guys hit 1 million, you guys can hit 500 million, and it's just literally going to start catapult or growing and growing and growing. So appreciate you saying that. Anthony, how about you, bro?
I'm already doing it. I'm a father.
Yeah.
Good
Love that.
answer.
All right.
What a good
Really quick,
answer.
you got to send Mason a shout out. So how old's the baby? How has that changed your guys' whole perspective on life?
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. She's 4.5 months. We're leaving for Switzerland after this, and it's our first time away from her. So it's gonna be difficult. It has changed our business so much, though, in the sense I have to echo what Melody said. It just changed your whole perspective. Before it was grind, 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 no matter what, because you don't have any other responsibilities. And now it's grind, grind, grind more effectively and more efficiently so that you have time to spend with your kid. I don't ever want to miss any big milestone in her life. I don't want to miss her first word, her first step. I need to be there. So how do we build our business in a way that we can be there for those moments?
So leverage, okay? I called Lauren. I said, hey, Lauren, you want to feature on this panel, small teams. They're leaving to Switzerland tonight. So I was like, okay, well, part of your reason for you're able to go and do the things you want to do is because of leverage, right? Because you have people, you have a team to do these things, right? So wouldn't that be great for you to come to this event? And she's like, yeah, you're actually right. I think you could do that. And her business will go on. Things will happen while they're away because it's no longer just them. It's a universal message amongst the team that can help run the business while they're away. So stoked for you guys. Really, really stoked. And I'm a dad. My son's going to be 4. The time, how many people are parents in the room? Please raise your hand. The measurement of time when you have children is sped up like 10x. Like the years go by so quick. My son is 4 in June. I'm like, what? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's changed my life. Melody, how about for you?
There are so many things, so many other things I would do, but I'm a lifer. I can't get out of this. I mean, I would be a professional tennis player, but I'm not good enough.
Okay.
So that's my answer.
Love this, love this. So you guys, I want to do this. I'm going to steal one of your mics over here, and then you guys can share that with the question. I just want to go around the room and give you guys an opportunity to ask these amazing people any questions that you have. So Kayla, let's go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you guys for all being here. It was all really good information. I think I've always, we have a little team, but I'm struggling. I think we're struggling with like structure and where to start, and like everything that you've said is great, but it's like, where do you start and what do you focus on? Because you have your business, which is like booming and going crazy, and you're trying to provide customer service to your clients, but then you also have newer, well, at least we have newer agents that we're trying to coach at the same time. So just where do you put your energy and how?
I can take that. So I actually partnered with Side Agent Services, and we have a business manager that helps map out our growth. And I mean, that was something that I seriously considered as well, and that helped.
You're going to get to the point where you can't be all things to you. You can't be a top producer. You can't be a coach. You can't be an ops manager. You can't onboard people and still have a life. So as you grow, you have to look at, okay, what is my vision? Where are we going? Is everyone clear on the vision and where we're going? And then I need to hire to where we're going. Does that mean that I need to bring in somebody that's going to handle all of my operation? Cool, then that's my first hire. Do I need an onboarding person because that is draining for me because we have so much tech? That person is going to handle my onboarding. Or do I need a sales manager that's going to help do all the coaching, training, development of agents while I go out there and run my business and develop leads for them, right? So it will all come together, and I'm sure you'll get some great tips from them, and I can provide any support along the way as well. Lauren.
I was just gonna say, be honest about where you're at and
Yeah.
what you can take on. Because I think sometimes we try and grow too fast when we can't actually provide the support people need. So you're just gonna burn yourself out. You're gonna burn through other people. So I would say make sure you have the footwork in place before you're trying to take on agents that you don't really have the capacity to support.
And we experienced this. We were 10 agents, and then by the end of the year, we were 90 agents. And then now we're at 300 agents. So there was me, Kenny, Korea, right? We didn't have an onboarding person. We didn't have a marketing department. We didn't have a director of ops. We didn't have a lead scientist. So all these things developed along the way. And so that is a normal place to be at, but make sure that the vision is clear within your organization and be able to know exactly what you're wanting to get to this business, because you cannot do everything to everyone. You can't. And then still give a great consumer experience. You have to say, I'm going to be in production for at least the next 2-3 years, because that's just the way it's going to be right now. So that's a tough one. You guys have any other advice for her?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys share that mic.
I would say delegate and leverage everybody's strengths on the team, right?
Yes.
Last thing, Ryan would be proud of me. You would rather dig one 100-foot hole than 100 one-foot holes. So yes, this is the unorganized me coming through. You want to like figure out, make your list of what you need, what you don't need, but like, what are you good at and what do you love doing? Like farming for us has never really worked. We love just connecting. So I'd rather put budget into going out to eat and like meeting people that way than trying to spend all this money farming when I know I'm not going to be consistent. So leverage what you love to do and it'll come.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Yeah, don't spend a bunch of time on stuff that you don't want to do. Right? I think like early on we were kind of crossing lanes, and I was doing things that I really didn't like to do. Last thing I want to do is review contracts. I don't review contracts. I want to work on human behavior. So I was like, how can I just do that? And so it's like it comes over time, but I love that advice. Just do the things that you truly want to do, and then if you don't want to do the other thing, then that's the role. I don't want to do any of those things. Perfect. Here, interested in the role. So, who else has a question for any of the panelists?
Hi. For you two, Anthony. I have a quick question. So you guys said in 2019 you guys failed. So what kind of tools did you guys have when you guys started recruiting? That you guys were spending?
That's a great. That's why Bree and Gay are laughing so hard. we weren't even trying to hire in 2019. And I think we just thought we'd try it out, like trial and error, kind of like parenting in a way. You just try and see what works. I will say we just tried to, we hired Ryan as our coach. And I think that was the big difference. Like for now when we meet new folks that could potentially be on the team, have them do a disc assessment and really have him interview them, because I just want to get to know you on like a personal level, because I feel like I'm a pretty good people reader. And then from there, you know, implement what you're not good at. So a coach or other systems to stay organized and stay focused on, you know, where you might be lacking, if that makes sense. But no official like tool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Who's next? Any other questions in the room? God bless you. Oh, ladies first.
Just really quick, what do you think is the biggest skill or trait you would look for in a new team member?
Ooh.
Like I have my first team member, one.
Congrats.
And I keep,
Oh, wow.
and I keep walking around saying, she's got really great work ethic. So, you know, I can ask her to do anything and she'll learn and she'll figure it out.
Love that.
That's the first thing I was thinking. I think I hear attitude versus aptitude a lot of times. I mean, your person better have some aptitude in general, but you know, the contracts, the day-to-day stuff, you can teach anybody. Do they have the drive to be that? Because we're self-employed.
Yeah,
You know,
her first open house, she got there before me and I drove up and she was picking garbage out of the bushes out front.
There you
That's
go.
right,
She's
that's
a
right,
keeper.
that's right. Love that. Do you want to answer that too?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think when hiring, I mean, we obviously all go through the normal paces of qualifying questions and a disc assessment. But I think the biggest lesson for me has been going with my gut, because I've made some hires that on paper looked fantastic and really just weren't a good fit. For me, the best hires have been based on character, solely alone. I mean, our newest hire, our ops manager, she's a freaking rock star. And her interview, she was definitely not the most qualified. She does not know that much about real estate, but she worked in a battered women's shelter and volunteers to do social media for Ricky Mina, the guy that goes to children's hospitals, to make their day. So I was like, I don't even care if you're qualified. I just need you in my life. I can teach
Yeah.
you real estate. I can't teach you character.
Totally. I love that. And you had asked about recruiting. I'll come to you the second right after Albert. The number one thing that we try not to do is recruit. We just attract. We invite anybody into our environment prior to them even joining our company, just to give them a seat at the table. Like, come to a meeting, come to a coaching, and like experience this. And then what we look for in agents is two things. We look for grit and we look for empathy. Can somebody actually feel someone's emotions and be aware on how to identify that and how to adjust to someone's emotions? EQ is the utmost importance in our business. We look for people that have empathy, but are grit, have grit. Like, I want a scrappy person. Like, I'll get in the ring, right? I'll make you a prize fighter, but you got to be willing to step in the ring. Albert, how about you, bro? We have 3 more questions. You're next.
Hello, thank you all for coming. How much business is generated from your social media, and how important is that to you, social media?
Almost all of it. And I should probably have a number from a percentage that comes from an Excel sheet, but I don't. I think it's just about maintaining your image and making sure that it's consistent across all platforms, no matter what that is. I couldn't tell you how TikTok works, but CJ can on our team. You know, he does all of our Instagram stuff. And even if it's me posting my workout in the morning, I'm staying top of mind to people that are like, oh, well, I don't care about Lauren's workout, but you know, I was thinking about buying a house, or I was thinking about selling my house, and I see her so often that now she's the first person I think of.
Yes.
So for us, and I think our demographic, one of the reasons why we got into the business is we saw an opportunity to represent a younger, more diverse population of buyers and sellers. That's who we are now, you know, and that's who is in the market. So like Elias said, if you attract it just based on your image, and your perception is everything.
And Albert, visibility is going to create opportunities, right? Like, they might not have cared about her fucking burpee workout, but they're like, there she is again. Oh, she sells real estate. Yeah, it's just a friend of mine. Visibility creates opportunity. One more person want to chime in on that? You want to chime in on that?
Yeah, I would say the amount of clients that are essentially a direct DM that's like, I want to buy a house, which does happen. I've had people I've never met that are like, I see you on there all the time. I want to work with you. I think the most important thing is, like you were saying, impressions, but also making sure that it's you, because people essentially get to know you through that. About a year ago, I thought about giving my social media to a company because I was like, oh, you know what? It's taking a lot of my time. And one of my mentors was like, that is the dumbest thing you could ever do. And I was like, oh, you're right. He's like, people want to see you. Doesn't matter what I'm saying. I could be on my couch eating a bag of chips and people are like, oh, that's great. So I think it's really just for visibility. I mean, my brother recently went to the gym and the girl at the front desk was like, oh, you're Homes by Lauren's brother. And he was like, you know my sister? And she was like, no, I just follow her on Instagram. So it's really just getting your presence out there.
I love that. I absolutely love it. Remove automation and move into personalization on your social media. Nobody gives a shit about Keep Current Matters. Why can't you take a Keep Current Matters article? Sorry if anybody's doing that right now. I recommend that you change that up. Take whatever they said in Keep Current Matters. Like, okay, let me get this. Okay, cool. Okay, hit record. Hey guys, what's going on? I want to share with you what's going on in the Tri-Valley, what happened over the last 3 months. It's going to impact you if you're a seller. Cool. I didn't make up the data. I just repurposed the data. And now it's mine. Wow, you dropped some gems on social. Yeah, I just do a lot of reading. So remove automation to move into personalization. My man, question. And then we have time for 2 more.
Right. Love you guys up there and the stuff that you said. So I've just hired my first assistant, and thank you. And one of the things that I've just learned is pretty much what you're speaking to, which is basically draw a T-bar on the left side. On the left side, put what works for you in real estate, and on the right-hand side, put what doesn't work and what you don't love, and delegate that. And I found out there's so much stuff I don't like, you know, and the problem that I had was utilizing my assistant to be effective rather than dumping that whole list. And so the question is, first you have to generate the business, and how do you get them to start to generate the business? And I hear the part about the online, which I'm like averse to the camera. So that's going to take something, but I'm going there. So how do you repurpose your assistant to start to help you generate business? Because I'm accustomed to doing it myself.
Is your assistant an administrational assistant, or is she a production assistant?
A production assistant.
Okay, so then she needs to have key tasks that are associated with just driving production. Her KPI is, how many appointments can you help me set every single week? KPIs are key performance indicators.
Okay.
Based off of that, now how many appointments am I going on? How many appointments am I closing? So her efforts need to be rooted in, these are the things that I need you to do that are income producing.
Yes.
Making calls, dropping off flyers, making connections, like that needs to be what you have her do. All the administrational stuff, if you get her confused, then she's going to be like, well, I thought you wanted me to do admin stuff. Oh, wait, you want me to make calls? Like, what am I doing? I got to stay in my lane. You got to be clear. If you want her as your admin or as your production assistant, she needs to be doing production activities on a daily basis.
Yeah, I could see how that really went bad, because I also tried to get him to be an escrow coordinator, and I need to get that out. But yeah. So
clarity.
Yeah.
So clarity.
Yeah.
And does one of you guys want to respond to that? Mel, do you want to respond to that?
I was just going to say, you need 3 assistants then. You need an escrow coordinator, you need a production assistant, and then, you know, an admin to help you. It sounds like that 3 people. You can find someone maybe who is like a diamond that is going to do all 3, but they're going to get burned out.
Yeah.
And you're going to get frustrated. It takes so much time to train people. I'd say you need 3.
Maybe this, and before we close out, maybe just hire an ISA that works overseas, that takes your database and has a 14 touch point, text, call, email, text, call, email, text, call, emails. Oh my God, they want to have so go see a home, and that comes back to you. You reduce your costs, $5 an hour. It's overseas, and all they're doing is they're a machine that is producing income producing results. Way to think of it. So you guys, we are out of time, but first things first, before we close out, let's give these amazing people a giant round of applause. Contribution. The people that are winning the biggest in this business right now are the people that are contributing at the highest possible level. They didn't have to be here. They have other things that they can be doing. They're getting ready for a vacation. You know, the last minute before you're going on vacation, you scramble, they're going international. Oh my God, and my clothes, I got everything. Do I got the clothes, the baby, everything. But they still managed to be here. So I'm super, super grateful. And thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for contributing at the highest level. Thank you guys all for spending some of your time to come here and join us. We have food for everybody, so feel free to break bread with us. But let's give them one more giant round of applause.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you guys for organizing this.
What's that?
So thank you for organizing this.
You know, we're going to do 100 of these. So be on the lookout. We're going to do Dad's panel next. We're going to do African-American women in real estate.